Hello and welcome to Left Bench Baseball, where instead of playing baseball, we sit on the sidelines and discuss. With the 2024 MLB season nearing the All-Star break, the MVP races have begun to take shape. With the recent MVP talks, I wanted to go back and compare the last 10 AL MVPs. 2020 AL MVP Jose Abreu will not be included on this list, as it's tough to compare a 60-game sample size to a full 162-game season. Before we dive into the list, I'd like to give some insight into my process for ranking these seasons. WAR, specifically Fangraphs WAR, or F-WAR as I'll be referring to it, was the most important statistic, as I feel it's the greatest tool for comparing the value of players across different positions. However, in some cases, I valued higher offensive production over a slightly higher WAR total. In judging offense, I put a greater emphasis on stats that adjust for the league's offensive environment, as league-wide offensive numbers have varied drastically from year to year in the last decade. I mainly used WRC+, or Weighted Runs Created Plus, an all-encompassing offensive stat which adjusts for run environment and ballpark factors and sets 100 as league average. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the rankings. Coming in at number 10 on our list, we have 2017 AL MVP Jose Altuve. In 153 games, Altuve won the batting title with a .346 average, posting a .410 on base percentage and a .547 slug, which was good for a .160 WRC+. The second baseman had a 2020 season for the 2017 World Series champion Astros, hitting 24 home runs and stealing 32 bases. In the field, Altuve was about league average, with -1 defensive runs saved. He finished the season with 7.7 F-WAR, the lowest total of all AL MVPs in the last decade, outside of 2020. It was a terrific season for Altuve, but was overshadowed when compared to the production from other American League superstars in the last decade. Our 9th-rated MVP season is Josh Donaldson's 2015. Donaldson had a special first season with the Blue Jays, who broke a 21-year playoff drought. In 158 games, the third baseman produced a .297 average, .371 on base percentage, and .568 slug, which equated to a .154 WRC+, the lowest among position players on this list. Donaldson did hit 41 home runs, drove in 123 runners, and was also positive on the base paths. His defensive metrics at third base were a bit conflicting, as Donaldson had -3 defensive runs saved, but an 8.6 ultimate zone rating. He had 8.7 F-WAR, a drastic difference from his 7.1 B-WAR. His inconsistent defensive metrics and offensive stats below his fellow AL MVPs places him 9th on this list. At number 8, we have the first of 3 Mike Trout MVPs. Funnily enough, Mike Trout's 2012 and 2013 seasons, where he placed second in MVP to Miguel Cabrera, were actually better than his 2014 MVP season. Not to say his 2014 was bad by any means. In 157 games, Trout hit 36 home runs, drove in 111 runners, and stole 16 bases for a 98-win Angels team. The 22-year-old had a .287 average, .377 on base percentage, and .561 slug, which came out to a .167 WRC+. One of the only knocks on Trout's season was his 26.1% K rate, the second highest strikeout rate on this list. In center field, Trout was below average, with -11 defensive runs saved. He finished the season with 8.3 F-WAR, just the 6th highest total of his career, which goes to show how unbelievable Mike Trout was in his prime. At number 7, we have another Mike Trout MVP season, this time his 2019 campaign. In just 134 games, Trout clubbed 45 home runs, with a .291 average, .438 on base percentage, and .645 slug, good for a .177 WRC+. Trout walked almost as much as he struck out, with an 18.3% walk rate and 20% K rate, while he finished with 7.8 F-WAR, lower than his 2014 total of 8.3. Trout played 23 less games in 2019. While raising his WRC+ by 10 points and playing better defense in center field, with -4 defensive runs saved compared to -11 in 2014. In spite of this production, the Angels won just 72 games. Just outside the top 5, we have yet another Angel, this time 2021 AL MVP Shohei Otani. Otani being ranked this low may come as a surprise, but when looking at the numbers, it's clear to see Shohei has only gotten better since 2021. In 158 games as a hitter, Otani posted a .257 average, .372 on-base percentage, and .592 slug, with a .150 WRC+. The two-way star hit 46 home runs, stole 26 bases, walked 15% of the time, and accumulated 5 F4 as a hitter. He did hold a strikeout rate around 30%, which is the highest on this list. Over 130.1 innings on the mound, Shohei had a 3.18 ERA, 3.52 FIP, and 10.77 strikeouts per 9 innings. This all added up to 3 F4 on the mound. In total, Otani had 8 F4 in his first MVP season. Unfortunately, the Angels once again wasted a terrific performance, going 77-85. In the number 5 spot is 2013 AL MVP Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera followed up his Triple Crown winning 2012 with an even better 2013 season. In 148 games, Miggy hit .348 with a .442 on base percentage and a .636 slug, good for 193 WRC+, the second highest on this list. He smacked 44 home runs and drove in 137 runners, holding a 13.8% walk rate and 14.4% K rate, which is second lowest behind Jose Altuve's 12.7% K rate in 2017. While Cabrera brought negative value on the bases and in the field, his offensive production allowed him to rack up 8.7 F4 for a Tigers team who won the AL Central. Quite simply, Miggy could rake. At number 4, we have the highest ranking Mike Trout season on the list. 2016 was yet another spectacular season for the Angels center fielder, which saw Trout rack up 8.7 F4. He mashed at the plate with a .315 average, .441 on base percentage, and .550 slug, good for a 170 WRC+. Trout nearly posted a 30-30 season, hitting 29 home runs and stealing 30 bases, all while displaying his terrific plate discipline with a 17% walk rate. 2016 was also one of Trout's stronger defensive seasons, as he had 6 defensive runs saved. As has been standard for the Angels in the last decade, they were unable to capitalize on the spectacular season, as they missed the playoffs, going 74-88. The first member of our top 3 is last year's AL MVP, Shohei Otani. Otani's 2023 surpassed his already spectacular 2021 with his absurd offensive production. Despite his season being cut to 135 games, Otani hit 44 home runs, with a .304 average, .412 on base percentage, and .654 slug, good for 180 WRC+. Shohei also cut down his K rate to 23% while remaining a threat on the base paths with 20 stolen bases. Additionally, Otani tossed 132 innings on the mound, with a .314 ERA, 4 FIP, and 11.39 Ks per 9. Otani totaled 8.9 F4, the third highest amount on this list. Even with Otani, the Angels won 73 games and watched their two-way star move across town to the Dodgers for $700 million in the offseason. In second place on this list, we have 2018 AL MVP Mookie Betts. The now Dodger superstar was a key cog for the juggernaut 2018 Boston Red Sox, who won 108 games and steamrolled their way to a World Series victory. In 136 games, Betts had a .346 average, .438 on base percentage, and .640 slug, equating to a 185 WRC+. Additionally, he went 30-30, swatting 32 home runs and stealing 30 bases. Betts was also elite in the outfield, recording 17 defensive runs saved and 10 outs above average in right field. In total, Mookie had 10.2 F4, the second highest single-season F4 total since Barry Bonds' peak ended in 2004. Coming in at number 1, unsurprisingly, is 2022 AL MVP Aaron Judge. Judge's 2022 campaign is one of the greatest seasons in modern history. In 157 games, Judge clobbered an American League record 62 home runs, with a .311 average, .425 on base percentage, and .686 slug, which equated to a staggering 209 WRC+. To put Judge's 209 WRC+ in perspective, here's the list of players who have reached a 200 or greater WRC+ over a full season since 2000. Barry Bonds and Aaron Judge. That's it. In 2022, Judge accomplished something that all-time greats like Alex Rodriguez, Albert Pujols, and Miguel Cabrera failed to do in their career, and Judge did all of this while playing league-average defense at a premium position in center field. Judge finished with 11.2 fWAR, the highest mark since Barry Bonds' totally clean 2004 season, where he had 11.9. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If there's any rankings that you disagreed with, please let me know down below. I'd love to have a discussion in the comments section. If this topic interests you, stay tuned, as next I'll be ranking the last 10 NL MVPs.